Hey guys, on January 1st, 2019, I created this video tutorial about how to install Google reCAPTCHA version 3 on the website. And basically here we used plain HTML, JavaScript and PHP to build this form and install this reCAPTCHA to verify if the user if the user who is submitting the form is a robot or not. So here we're using PHP to send the data to Google and get a response from them, and having that score we could detect if the user is a robot or not. I'm gonna put a video, so make sure you watch this video and you understand how it works, and then after that just watch this video. I'm gonna leave this link in the description of this video, so you can go ahead and watch it first here, and then after that just come back and watch how we create this tutorial. So in this tutorial I'm gonna create this contact form, and it's in React.js of course, and we will install Google reCAPTCHA. As you see here already, it's saying that it's protected by reCAPTCHA, and we won't have any backend stuff. We will just build React and we will integrate the reCAPTCHA here. So as a quick demo, we have this form. I fill out this form, I click send, and I see this notification which is saying message sent. Now if I change, for example, the credential to my reCAPTCHA, on the right side I can see it's telling me already that error for site owner, invalid site key, and I submit this form. And even if I click on the send button, I don't get any confirmations here, which means I don't get any response from Google, and not having a response from Google, this submission is invalid. So if I put my correct credential to the CAPTCHA, we see that it's working fine. So it's gonna be a short video, but this is what we will do in this tutorial, and let's go ahead and get started, guys. I'm using VS Code as you see here, and I'm gonna stop. I have this running right now on my server on my computer just to show you, so I'm just gonna stop it. I'll go back. By the way, I'm gonna leave a link to the source code, so you can take a look there too. So here I'm gonna create another app, and I'm gonna name it MTX create React app, and let's say reCAPTCHA 3. And this is gonna take a while, guys, so I'm just gonna go ahead and pause the video, and I'm gonna resume it whenever it's done. Alright guys, my app is installed. Now I'm just gonna start it. npm start. I'll just misspell it. Alright, and then while it's starting, let's go ahead and access the Google reCAPTCHA the official page. Just go on Google reCAPTCHA, google.com/reCAPTCHA, like this, and then just press enter, and it's gonna redirect you to this page. Now from here just click on the right side, make sure you log in, and then after that just click on the admin console button on the right side on top, and it's gonna redirect you to this page where you can create a project. So if you don't have any project, just make sure you create one. I'm not sure how it looks like if you don't have any projects, but make sure you find somewhere a button where it's saying create project. Right now I have it here, so I just click here, and wherever I have my label I'm gonna insert, let's say React reCAPTCHA, everything together, and here I'm choosing the reCAPTCHA version 3. And then wherever you have your domains, make sure, for example, I'm working on the local host, so I'm gonna just type in localhost. Only if you're working on a subdomain or domain, make sure you add your domain there. So here I'm gonna add localhost and press enter, and make sure it's adding here. The owner, I'm gonna accept the reCAPTCHA terms of service, and I don't want to receive any alerts. Okay, and just click submit, and here you'll get your site key and the secret key. Okay, and let me see what's going on there with my, well, I get an error here just because of course I didn't go into my I didn't open my folder, so I'm just gonna go ahead and open it now. Let's see there, reCAPTCHA 3. Okay, and then here npm start. I'm gonna add a so work folder. Let's see this one. Okay, I'm gonna edit my app CSS. I'm actually gonna remove everything. Oops. I'm just gonna remove everything except app class, like this. I'm gonna save it, and then I'll open my app.js file, and then I'll remove this logo SVG file, and I will remove everything I have in my app class, like this. I'm gonna save it. I'm gonna close my app CSS file, and if I open my browser, well, this app is loading now. I'm sorry for it taking so long, because this computer is kind of slow, that's why it's like that. But okay, so it's working fine. If I say here hi and I save it, I'm supposed to see somewhere hi. Okay, there you go, here. Okay, now before we go further, I forgot to install some packages here. So the first package is gonna be the first one is gonna be the material UI. So just to get more information about this one, it's like a bootstrap. And let's see, material UI React install. It's gonna be on, let's see, materialui.com. So here you can find these commands on how to install it. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm gonna type in npm install material-ui, and then press enter. It's gonna take a while too, and then after we install, while it's installing, let's take a look at another package. This package is the react-google-invisible-recaptcha. This is what we will be installing as well, and then after that integrate it. So let's see, well, this is taking a while. Alright, I'm gonna close this one from here. Let me I was about to say let me pause the video, but I think that's going fast now. Alright guys, I'm gonna pause it. Okay, so it's installed. Now let's go ahead and install our reCAPTCHA package. So we have npm install. Let me copy this all the way like this. Right, paste it there, press enter, and this is gonna take a while as well, so I'm gonna pause it. Alright, this is installed. So now let's go ahead and start our local machine. So say npm start. Here on this website, it's you can just search for React Google Invisible Recaptcha, and it's supposed to be on this website, npmjs.com. It's a package, and you can read more information here about this reCAPTCHA and how to use it in React. I'm gonna close it. So our app it's live now. I'm just gonna close this. I'm gonna close this. Okay. So we have our app.js. Now I'm gonna create another folder for my component. I'm gonna have a single component for this form. So I have new folder, and it's gonna be components. Now here I'm gonna have another file, and I'll name it form.js. Here I'm gonna import React, of course. This is gonna be a class. It's gonna extend the component. So we'll have import React, and then we will have component and import everything from React. Also here we will import some UI from Material UI, the package we installed. So here we have, so we will import MUI theme provider. We will import the app bar, text field, raised button, and then after that we'll have to import reCAPTCHA. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll have import MUI theme provider from so here we have material UI / styles / MUI theme provider. Okay, and then below we'll have another one. We'll import the app bar. So app bar is being imported from material UI / app bar. Okay, the next one is text field, and the text field is being imported from material UI / text field. Okay, the next one is the raise button, which is gonna be the submit button. And we import this one from material UI / raise button. Okay, now here we have export class form extends component. Okay, extends component. Now here we will have a state, and in the state we will save all the data from our form. So here we will have the first name, and it's gonna be empty, and then we have last name, and then we have the I don't know, should we add email? Let's add email, and then we have the message, and we will have another state which is gonna be the message sent, and this is gonna be false by default, and we will use this state to make sure to check if the message was sent or not. So to check if if we got a response from Google, we will update this state, and if this state will be true, then that means we've got a positive response from Google, and then after that we can just output that confirmation that the message was sent. Now below, let's create our render function, and here we will have the return function, of course. So we have return, and here we will use the MUI theme provider. This is the component we imported here. So we have MUI theme provider, and then we will have the React fragment, okay, and then here we will have our app bar component, and this is going to have a property which is a title. So we have app bar title, let's say contact form, and then below we have the our fields. So here we'll have text field, and it's gonna take some properties too. So we'll have hint text, and here we'll have enter your first name, and and then there's gonna be the floating label text, and here we'll have first name, and then we will have the on change. So here we'll have a handle change which is gonna update the state. So we have on change event, and this is gonna call another method which we will create it. So this handle change, and it's gonna have as a parameter the first name. So this is the state which will be updated, and then we'll have another field. You know what, guys, let's just remove these two fields, so we will make it quicker. We'll have just first name and last name in this form. So we have this text field, and here we'll have to enter your last name. You can add more fields if you want. It's really up to you guys. First name, last name. Okay, just make sure these parameters from here match with the state. Okay, now we should create this handle change method, and we will use ES6 for that. So we have handle change, well, actually here we will have input, and then we have event. Okay, here we will have, and here we will update the state. So whatever we type in this field, this handle change is gonna update the state. So we will have here this dot set state. Like this, we have input, and then here we have the event dot target dot value. Okay, so this is gonna be it's like a loop. Whenever we insert something, any letter, this method is being called, and it takes all the value from the input and it updates the state. So the first name gets the data from the first name field, and then the last name is gonna do the same thing. Okay, we have the handle change. Now we will have another. Actually, here we need a submit button, and we will do it right now. So the submit button is the raised button component. So we have raised button, and this is gonna have some props as well, like this. And here we will have the reference. So we'll have here, let's say like that. Well, no, you know what? No, the reference. So we will have a label, which is gonna be send, and then we will have the style, and the style is gonna be style sheet dot button, and then here we will have the on click event, and this on click event is gonna call the send message method, which we will have to create. So whenever we will click on this button is gonna call this send message method, and we will create this method right now. So we'll have here, of course we will be using ES6 as we did for the handle change. So we have send message, and we won't have any parameters here. And then here we will just call the this reCAPTCHA execute. So whenever we will click on this button, we want to call this function, which is this is a predefined function coming from reCAPTCHA. So well, actually before we do that, just let's go ahead and import CAPTCHA here, because we didn't. So we have import reCAPTCHA from we have here react-google-invisible-recaptcha, and then having this reCAPTCHA here, whenever we import it, we can use it here in this send message. So we have here this reCAPTCHA dot execute. Okay, so what's this gonna do? If you watch the video I told you, so what's this gonna do? It's gonna send a request to Google, and then Google is gonna return us a response. And just to get that response, we should add another component here. This component is gonna be like a hidden component in our form. As you watched in that video, that's the value we have on the second field from there, and then we make that field hidden afterwards. But this is gonna be the component we just imported from here. So we will have reCAPTCHA from here, used it under our button right below. So we will have like this reCAPTCHA, and of course we will have some props here, and we will have the reference. So ref, say if I remember it, so ref. Okay, we have this reCAPTCHA, and we assign the ref. Okay, something like that. Okay, and then after that we have the side key. Here we will have to insert the side key, and then we have another prop which is onResolved. And here onResolved means if we got a positive answer from Google, then we are calling this onResolved method. So we should create this method now. And now let's go ahead and insert the side key here. Just let's go back to our reCAPTCHA, and let's copy the side key from here and just paste it here. And we have onResolved reCAPTCHA. Okay, everything looks good. Now let's go ahead and create this onResolved method, and of course we will be using ES6, and we won't have any parameters, so we have like this. Okay, and here is the time to update our message sent, because if this method gets called, that means we've got a positive response from Google, which means this user is a human, it's not a bot. So we have this set state, and we have message sent, and we update it to be true. And then here's the place where you want to process your data. I don't know, maybe send it to an API or do something else with your data. We're not gonna do it here because I'm just gonna mainly show you how this reCAPTCHA works and how it doesn't really require a backend for it. So we have the process data here, and then we can also, let's just console log the state to see how it gets updated whenever we insert something in our forms field. So we have this state. Okay, let's just make sure everything looks fine here. Alright, I'm gonna save it, and let's import it in our app.js. So we have import form from, we have component/form, and then here in our app class I'm gonna call the form, and I save it now, and it must work now. We shouldn't have any problems at all. But you know what, sometimes it happens that we have a problem. Components form doesn't contain a default export. So okay, we forgot to export this component from here. So right below at the end of the file, let's type in export default form. Oops. Okay, like that. I'm gonna save it. Let's see what happens now. Everything looks fine. Let's open our browser. So we have here our form, but let's just add some Let's add the br tag here. Okay. Go back. So this is how our form looks like right now, and we have these two fields, first name and last name, and we also see on the right side that we have this budget, which is saying that protected by reCAPTCHA. And we forgot to do something here, but let's see. Let's inspect it. Let's check our console. We have all these warnings just because if you read here, this reCAPTCHA library is floating label, text of type strings apply to text with expected boolean. So I misspelled something here, of course, like floating field text label. It shouldn't be fixed, it should be text here. Okay, save it, go back and check. And we don't have that error. Well, that's floating because whenever we click on this field, look at this first name, it's gonna go up. You know, it's floating. Alright, so we get these warnings just because the this library's warning component will mount has been renamed and is not recommended for use, and all this other stuff here. But this is mainly what Google does in all these libraries we have installed in our app, so we should be fine with this. And you see our app, our form has been protected. But what we forgot here is we forgot to add the confirmation if the message is sent or not. So let's see. I'm gonna type in something here and click send, and we should be able to see our data from our state because we've been using the console log there. And let's go back and see. Let's add an if statement here in our render function. We'll have here, let's see, we should check our state. So we will have a variable which is gonna be the confirmation, say confirmation, and we assign to this confirmation it's gonna be an if statement here. So we'll have this state, we check if this state message sent is true, then we will output the following message. It's gonna be, we'll have a div here, so we will say message sent. Otherwise we don't assign anything to this variable. And then let's just copy this variable and let's add it right below our app bar like this, and just save it now. Go back, our app has been refreshed. So if we insert something here and click send, we get this notification confirmation to say message sent, and we also get information from our state, and we see everything works fine, and our form right now is protected by the invisible reCAPTCHA. But if I go back and let's say, for example, wherever we have it here, I'm gonna remove, for example, I'm gonna insert a wrong site key. If I go back, we refresh it, we can see that error for site owner, invalid site key. And if I fill up the form and click send, we don't get anything here. We don't even update the state because this reCAPTCHA is invalid because we don't get any response from Google. So let's take an overview of this app we have here. So we import we import React and all these packages. They're like Bootstrap, they're just CSS styling, and then we import reCAPTCHA. This is the package we installed to, and we have the state, first name, last name, and then the message sent, which is false by default. So here is our form, and it's very important for you to watch that video I recommend, because I really explained there really well in more details on how this reCAPTCHA actually works. So we have our form here. Now whenever we click on the submit button, which is the send, this button is calls this send message method, which is this one, and then this send message method fires up the reCAPTCHA. It tries to execute it. Okay, whenever it fires up this reCAPTCHA, it means it calls Google. It sends to Google the data about the user who submitted this form. Now if Google responds with a positive response, which means that a positive response, if Google confirms that this user is a human, then this reCAPTCHA component calls the onResolved method, which is here, and then this method just updates our state, our message sent state to true, and of course we console log the state after that. And then here in our render function we assign to our confirmation a variable the message sent text if this state is true. If not, we don't assign anything, and then after that we just output that here above our fields. So that's pretty much it, guys. It's really easy in React to use it. If you paid attention, we didn't use the secret key in this tutorial, and we didn't really need it for it. And that's how you can use reCAPTCHA in your future projects, forms. We don't really need a backend for that. If you guys have any questions, just feel free to leave them in the comments. I'll do my best to help you out. If I won't help you, there's gonna be somebody else, because we're like a community. So thank you very much for your attention, guys, and I will see you in the next tutorial.